I mean, I've always loved magazines, and it's obvious if you walk in any bookstore, by the size of the newsstand, that I'm not the only one. No matter what interest you have, no matter what hobby you have, no matter what your thing is, there is a magazine that covers it. I've been collecting magazines ever since I was a little kid. You know, when I was young, I used to get Monster magazines, Mad magazine. You know, comic books were really big. My visits to the comic book shop with my grandparents were always a special thing. Even today, one of my favorite things to do is to go to the bookstore, go straight to the newsstand, pick up magazines on my favorite things. Like I collect skateboard titles like Thrasher, Concrete Wave, Juice. It's no secret that I have a passion for classic cars and hot rods, as well as 50s and 60s culture things. I get Hot Rod Deluxe, Rod and Custom. Also pick up the Atomic Ranch, which covers the 50s and 60s era homes. And tattoos are no different than that. Ever since I started tattooing, I've always collected tattoo magazines. I get ITA, Tattoo Review, Skin Art, Prick, Inked. Every month when those titles hit the newsstands, I'm there picking them up. Always have, always will. When I was learning to tattoo, and the tattoo magazines were like how-to manuals for us young tattooers, you know. I mean, not only did they inspire myself, but they inspired all the guys that work with me at the shop.
The tattoo magazines were definitely inspirational to me. I mean, I would spend hours and hours just looking at them, looking at the pictures so I could, you know, figure out how to do what those guys were doing.
Tattoo magazines are definitely where you find out what's what and who's who in the tattoo world today, especially before the internet came. I grew up in a small town, and there weren't too many tattoo shops around.
Tattoo magazines show a super wide variety of different styles of artwork.
So I would go look at the tattoo magazines, and that's how I would find out about different tattooers, who's doing what, and what was cool.
They're a great place to pull inspiration from.
Just like the boss said, they're the how-to manuals of tattooing.
I mean, I've been tattooing for over 16 years, you know, traveled the country, going to convention after convention, and I still absolutely read the tattoo magazines a lot. I mean, I think that they're very important, and there's so many good young artists coming out today. The magazines cover a lot of that, you know. I mean, even though internet's gotten popular, I do believe that the magazines still hold a strong place in the tattoo industry.
It's especially good for tattoo artists who don't leave their backyard much, and they don't get to see what we get to see.
And that would cover most tattooers from Dayton. Not all, but probably most.
A lot of shops in our hometown, they suck.
Sucking is putting it lightly.
And that's what happens when you don't educate yourself. I mean, your limitations are a direct result of you plain and simple not knowing any better.
It's definitely a shame in an industry that's so permanent.
Not only should you educate yourself on art, you should over-educate yourself.
Take every opportunity that you can to be better.
I mean, I'm not saying it's the only way to go, but it's a great way, you know, and all it takes is a few bucks and a 5-minute car ride to the bookstore.
So I really can't believe that there's still tattooers out there that think, well, I don't keep up with the magazines, I don't care what they're doing in there.
Yeah, I do my thing. I don't need to look at that stuff.
I mean, that's the stupidest thing that I've ever heard. I mean, that's like being in a rock band and going, I don't buy records. I mean, how can you make good music if you don't know what good music is? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
If you don't keep up with what's going on around you, it's definitely a surefire way of getting your ass kicked.
Personally or professionally or whatever.
And with tattoo artists, that's completely true.
Getting their asses kicked day after day after day after day.
And it's sad. I mean, with all of the resources that we have out there, I mean, between all of the tattoo magazines, which, God, I think that there's over a dozen of them, you know, and the internet and all the access that we have to become good artists, for some reason, man, you know, some people still just don't cut it. I have to say that the tattoo magazines have been a blessing to us in more ways than one. I mean, not only have they been good for the inspirational and educational end of our careers, but they've also been very generous in their curiosity in covering the work of my tattooers as well as my own work. We've also been launching a pretty heavy advertising agenda in a lot of the top national tattoo magazine titles, as well as all the editorials that have been done on our shop over the last few months. I mean, we definitely couldn't have expected this much media attention. I'm very proud of where we're headed as a team. I don't think that we can do it without each other. The team element has been a crucial part of building this company to the success that it is, and the truth of the matter is we're just getting warmed up.